Hi. On activity 12, we wanted to know how the simple machines help us do the work. So the first thing that we need to know is what is work. By definition, science definition, work is when you do a force and that force causes an object to move through a distance. We measure the force in a unit called newtons, named after Isaac Newton, and we measure the distance in meters. So in order for us to find the work, we need to multiply the force times the distance. Let's say that there is a box. And you want to leave that box a distance of 1 meter. And the box has a weight of 100 newtons. In other words, you need to make a force of 100 newtons to lift this box, and you have to move it through a distance of 1 meter. What will be the work? Well, the work will be 100 newtons multiplied by 1 meter. That equals 100 joules. And joules is the unit of measurement of work. So that is how you find the work. Now the question is, how does a simple machine help you do the work? Well, in two different ways. Both have to do with force. A simple machine can help you do the work by decreasing the size of the force and by changing the direction of the force. They both have to do with the force. Now you can have a simple machine that help you decrease the amount of force, but if you decrease the amount of force, you have to increase the amount of distance, because the simple machine does not help you do the work by doing less work. If I use a simple machine, or if I don't use it, I will still have to do 100 joules of work. Now I'm going to give you an example of using a simple machine that will decrease the size of the force. Let's say that I'm going to use a ramp to lift that box. So I put the box in here and I start moving the box. Now instead of doing 100 newtons of force, I'm only going to be doing 50 newtons. So I have to multiply by the distance that I'm going to be moving it. But if you notice, I'm not going to be moving it 1 meter. I'm going to be moving it from here to here, which will be around 2 meters. So when you multiply the 50 newtons times the 2 meters, you will end up with 100 joules. What that means is that these machines help me do the work by changing the size of the force, but the amount of work is the same one. Now that is hypothetically, because in reality you end up doing more work when you use a machine. Because right now I have to count the force that I have to do for the box, but there's also friction. So in reality, I'm going to end up doing more than 50 newtons. Maybe I'm going to end up doing 60 newtons. But it is still less than 100. It's a trade-off. You do less force, but you have to move it through a greater distance. Now, the other way that the simple machine can help you do the work is by changing the direction of the force. I'm going to erase here. And one example of this is a pulley, a fixed pulley. Let's say that I have a pulley right here, and I want to lift this bucket of 100 newtons. Then I'm going to be making a force right here. I don't know. Making a force. The force that I'm going to make is also 100 newtons. So what is the difference? The difference is that I'm changing the direction. I want to lift the bucket, so I have to pull down. I'm only changing the direction. And again, that is hypothetically, because I'm going to end up doing more than 100 newtons because of friction in the pulley. Now I can change this to a different type of pulley that may help me only by changing the size of the force. Let's say that I have the bucket right here. I want to lift it. It's 100 newtons. And I have a different type of pulley which is called the movable pulley. And I will be in the top making the force. So in this occasion, I'm only going to be doing 50 newtons. But I'm not changing the direction of the force. I'm still pulling up while the bucket is moving upward. Now I can make another example with a different type of pulley called the block and tackle. And with the block and tackle, I'm just combining the two types of pulleys. See, I can go down now, draw another pulley here. It's a movable pulley with a fixed pulley. And now I start making a different type of force. Now I'm pulling down instead of pulling up. See? Notice, I'm changing the direction of the force because I'm pulling down while the bucket is going up. And now I'm only going to be doing 50 newtons of force. This will show you the two ways in which the simple machine can help you do the work by changing the size of the force and the direction of the force.